So the theater I went to see this movie had these new theaters with new seats. I almost felt like falling asleep in these chairs. Thankfully, this movie wouldn't let me. So I just had the pleasure of seeing a movie called Hardcore Henry. This is a movie I've rather been curious about seeing. I've kind of seen this style of filming done before, but not to this degree, obviously. So Hardcore Henry is about this man, if you can call him that. He's more machine than he is man. He wakes up in a factory, and this woman is rebuilding him, and she tells him she is his wife. And the place is then attacked by this man, and he's going to use him to build his own Cyberman army, if you will. Let's get this out of the way. There are not a lot of big stars in this movie. Probably the most prominent star in the movie is Sharlto Copley. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He is an actor from South Africa who not a lot of people would probably know by name, but most people would probably know him by his face or his voice. He was in District 9, Elysium, Chappie, and Maleficent. This movie is probably what Chappie wanted to be. This movie was so brutal in its violence. The violence got so ridiculous. I was almost laughing from most of it. I do feel that was intentional, because some of the things that happen in this movie are just so crazy, but so violent, where I just had to laugh. Due to it being filmed in this first-person perspective, I did not mind it when it got all shaky, mostly because the camera wasn't being shaken around. It was being shaken really realistically, like in these up and down motions, like you're actually running, instead of just like running through an earthquake, you know? So for my talk about the parents, no. Whatever you think your kid might like in this movie, do not take them to this. It is extremely violent, and there is some background nudity in this one scene. Though it is very short, it's still there. I personally found this movie very enjoyable. Mostly, it's the testosterone talking in me. Usually I'm very easily overrun with testosterone with these type of movies. I don't even know if I said that right. I'm keeping that in. I don't care. I'm kind of a pushover when it comes to over-the-top action. Not like cheesy kind of over-the-top. More like just so brutally over-the-top. I'm going to go ahead and say that the over-the-top, brutal over-the-top violence for this is not there for the sake of it. It doesn't just show up near the end of the movie. The whole movie kind of sets it up so it makes sense for the rest of the film. Some of the few critiques I have for this movie, being just that it's mindless over-the-top action. I can't really fault much of its story or characters. I didn't really find much of a problem with the acting, though this one guy, I have no idea if he was blind or not, but I don't think he ever looked a character in the face. I don't think he was blind, but he sure did look like it. The one thing I did kind of have a problem with was Tim Roth. He is not in this movie enough. He has like barely a minute of screen time. I like Tim Roth. I think he's a good actor. I think he can be very, very good. But I feel he is gigantically underused in this movie. But other than that, I overall liked this movie. It was over the top in just the right ways for me. It was insane, it was bloody, it was gory, but it was hilariously over the top. I enjoyed every second of it. So I'm gonna leave it with about an 8 out of 10. Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So just as a recap, parents, do not take your kids to see this movie, no matter what they say. And you'll probably find little to appreciate in a movie like this, but That's fine. Everyone has different opinions. So yeah, if any of this sounds interesting to you, you might like it, but most people probably won't. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there and check it out.